was scooped by Children's Aid. They, yes, immediately at birth. Some records say I was 32 weeks gestation, some say full term. But whatever I was taken right at birth, and I was adopted when I was 14 months old. My father was on the reservation, the Mohawk Reserve, down in I think it's the Kanesatake Reserve. My mother was an unwed mom. It was very shameful, and it was shameful on several different levels then. It was bad to be not married and pregnant, but it was also bad to be trying to pass as white and married, not married with a child of color. So I was scooped because I was Native. That was it. My mother had 5 children, and I was the only one that was Native, and I was the only child scooped. One would have assumed if it was a bad home situation, they would have taken all the children, not just one. And certainly there would have been more follow-up if they took me, and then there was a concern they should have followed up with the rest of the kids, but there wasn't any. So whenever the teachers in school would say, okay, your homework is to make a family tree, and I would be lost. I would be torn between wanting to do a family tree of my birth family, or if I handed in a family tree with my adoptive family, it felt wrong. It felt like I was lying, giving someone else's family. My adoptive parents were Jesse and Edward Anderson, and they were wonderful people. I loved them and was very protective of them, and they told me that I was adopted from as early as I could understand the word adoption. I didn't want to look up my birth family out of respect for them until my mother passed. When my mother passed in the 80s, then I started actively searching for my birth parents. I found my birth mother just months before she passed away. She died of cancer, and she was in Ottawa here. I know that there is a class action lawsuit, and they won, and that they have until April of next year, I believe, to register us who were scooped. But what they've been telling me is that we have to be able to prove we're status in order to be part of that class action. And there's the rub, is trying to get your status first, and to get your status in time to register for the 60 Scoop. Now, I've registered, but I've registered as a non-status. I've had my DNA drawn, and I have traced my lines fairly extensively back to some of the 1500s. And we have several lines of Indigenous roots, and I'm proud of that, and I want to be able to register my status. I want my heritage back.